Apple products have an aura around them, a mystique around their ease of use and the more premium cost. Owning an iPhone has been and always will be an expensive experience until Apple released the iPhone SE lineup, a set of phones labeled as special edition, but really they're just new hardware inside of an old shell. These phones have been a favorite of mine in so many throughout the years, and over the next week I get to experience Apple's latest entry in this lineup. An iPhone 6 on the outside, but an iPhone 13 Pro on the end. This is the iPhone SE 2022 edition. So today is the beginning of day one with the iPhone SE 2022. I'm coming from the iPhone SE 2020. I'm not really expecting too many insane improvements. The things I'm looking forward to the most are, is the rear camera actually any better? Does the bigger battery actually help with battery life? Not that I really had a problem on the other phone, but just see if that helps. And does the newer processor help open apps a little bit quicker, open the camera app a little bit faster, those types of things. A little bit later, and something I've been thinking a lot about these phones is, and I wrote it down because I thought it was so profound. Modern CPUs and phones are so good that if the phone is less than 4 years old, is the battery health more important? The reason I believe yes is because we haven't been able to notice processor improvements in years. However, you can tell a battery is dying by how poorly a phone functions. I wonder if that's why Apple makes it quite difficult to replace the battery. Everything was going well until that night when I turned on the flash, and it just looks so green. I tried to film it and it looked completely fine. I think Apple's color correcting. Either way, the flashlight's so bright, it's awesome. I use a flashlight multiple times a day. Today's day 2 of using the iPhone SE 2022, and today is a special day because it's a solar eclipse, a Techno solar eclipse. Techno Eclipse and the solar eclipse coming at you. This is incredible. This is a once lifetime opportunity, huh? You really, gosh, if you could see this, it'd be nice. These are the 3 best shots I got of the sun. The digital zoom only camera was less than impressive, and I was in an area of total coverage. And it really was a truly remarkable moment for me. Breathtaking. It reminds you that there's so much more to this wonderful world than just scrolling on your phone all day, every day. I just wish I had a better phone camera. Comparing the photos that I was able to get to my friend Dave's photos that he took with his S21 Ultra. Granted, a more expensive phone at launch, but a phone that's a year older. It's not even close. His photo blows mine out of the water. It just happened. Wow. That was like the most amazing thing I think I've ever seen. Day 3 is much of the same as the first couple, but there's this weird thing I noticed when taking a video of my kids. Can't show that video here, but this is my attempt to recreate what happened. It's like very aggressive focusing. I've never seen it before, and I've never really been able to successfully recreate it since. But it was while I was moving and filming. In the other 25 or so other videos I've filmed in this phone, I haven't noticed anything else like that, so I'm assuming it's just a little bug. For day 4, I'm going to be using the iPhone SE alongside the iPhone 12 mini because I feel like these two phones are the most comparable to each other. The biggest difference I'm noticing between the two phones is obviously the screen. This one, obviously, like, it doesn't go, it's a lot shorter, and this one, you have to zoom, like, it can fill up more. But also this one supports HDR content and this one doesn't. To be honest, HDR content is kind of annoying to me. I feel like these sections of like the bright part get way too bright. That's the first thing you notice when you have this phone versus this phone is like, whoa, this screen is significantly better. Because the battery is so much better, this one's at 93%, and the iPhone SE is only at 79%. I've noticed that the iPhone SE is moderately better. The interesting thing is I never really thought the iPhone 12 mini chugged at all, but when you compare them side by side, you start to notice it. But in my opinion, that kind of stuff doesn't matter because like I used the iPhone 12 mini for like 2 months and didn't think twice about the performance. I thought it was perfectly fine. So I think you just sort of adapt. Same thing with the screen, I think you just sort of adapt. So I used both these phones very casually today. And all in all, if I had to choose, I would probably lean towards the iPhone 12 mini, with the only reason being because of the rear-facing ultra-wide camera. That's it. I film a lot. Obviously, you're watching me film something. If I didn't care that much about that, I think this phone's actually better. I think I like this phone probably more. Here's my official halfway through review. The front camera isn't very good. The rear camera is marginally better than the 2020 SE, but it's still not that impressive. The battery life actually is really good, especially if you don't use your phone that much. The bezels are crazy, like they're so big for 2024, and the screen isn't great, but you get used to the screen really quick. Listening to content out of the speakers, they sound really good. I really like how loud they are. The size of the phone and the feel in your hand is unlike anything Apple's released as a main device in the last 5-6 years. And I really can't wait for Apple to cycle back in the rounded corners. All in all, this is the best phone I've used in years. I just wish there was a little bit more of an advanced camera system. Day 5, this was just a normal day today. Everybody talked about the battery life on these phones, and I tested that theory out by waking up at 7:30 and trying to listen to all my podcasts in video form on YouTube today, which is over 3.5 hours of usage. The phone ended the day with 46% battery. So it is currently 11:25 on the following day. This is day 6, and we are sitting at 34% battery. And I didn't charge my phone at all last night. So safe to say that after an extremely heavy day of usage, the battery on this phone still completely holds up. So really my only complaint that I think is actually a valid complaint is the missing wide angle lens on the back of the camera. I really miss that from my iPhone 12 mini. I mean, you're watching me, I film a lot of stuff, that's just my life. So that's like the one feature that I think actually gets me. I think it's easy to convince yourself you need a feature you don't technically need, but you don't need it, but it's nice. It's definitely nice to have, and the price difference between the two is it makes it worth it to me.
The question I am left thinking in so many of these videos is how much phone is too much phone, and how much phone is not enough? We are currently at a state in the smartphone market where a 2-year-old budget smartphone in day-to-day usage feels the exact same as a newer $1,000 plus smartphone. I think we have a really easy time buying more phone than we could possibly ever use. Is the iPhone SE 2022 the best phone Apple's ever released? Certainly not. But maybe the solution we are looking for is right under our noses. That we should not be looking for the biggest and the best, but a phone like the iPhone SE that's good enough. I for one prefer good enough over the terrifying alternative of 5 hours a day on a smartphone. But something I'm concerned with is coming off as bitter. I clearly love technology. I have an entire tech channel. The democratization of data that the internet and computers created is remarkable, and they are the only reason you're able to hear me now. I am just the only tech YouTuber you will ever listen to that will tell you to watch just how much time you are spending on your screens, because I've been that person. I've been the person that spends 8 hours of my day on my phone, and I was miserable. I might not know you personally, but I care about the idea of you, the idea of someone who watches my videos, and there's a responsibility in that. I could not look at myself in the mirror knowing that I didn't at least try to help you. So I'm sorry if I ever come off as bitter. I just want to help, to fight the fight from the inside.
For example, I am currently sitting at 21 minutes of screen time. That's perfect. I want to see less than 30 minutes on everybody for all time. Today is day 7 of using the phone, and it's been absolutely awesome so far. I've had no complaints. I love the phone.
This phone was released 2 years ago. Of course, it's still a great phone. But as I come to the end of this quote-unquote challenge, I'm reminded again about just how lucky we are that this phone can be easily had for under $200. I purchased mine for $140 used on eBay. We have finally begun to reach a place with phones where no matter what phone you get, you're getting an extremely good version of a phone. Sure, this camera isn't quite as good as some other phones, and this screen isn't quite as good or quite as bright, but it's still remarkable. And I used this $140 phone for a week, and it was marvelous. I say this after testing out each of these phones, but I would 100% be fine with just using this one as my main device for the next 5 years, or at least until the battery gave out. The question becomes, are your reasons for wanting a more expensive device valid? Or are you buying things you can't afford to impress people you don't like? My hope with this channel is to get people to think about their screen time and making sure their screens are simply a hobby and not their whole life, because the future you deserves it. Get off your phone, head outside, spring is here. Thanks for
Hang on a second, do not crescendo that music just yet. I want to just tell you a few things. The first one is that I'm starting a weekly newsletter. You can sign up in the description down below. And the next one is I want to give you a little sneak peek as to what phone I'm testing out next. And the astute of you will notice that this is not an iPhone, this is an iPad mini. So I will be testing out the iPad mini to see if you can use this for a week in 2024. And I'm really looking forward to this. I've really enjoyed the experience so far. So if you want to see that video, hit subscribe. If you want to see the other videos I've made about me using other phones in a week, click it here. And I hope you guys all have a great week. Thanks for watching. Peace out.